Hello, it's Jane here from JD Papercrafts. I taught my Zoom class how to make this card the other day. It's a bay window card. It will go through the post reasonably flat, and then when you get it, you just tuck that under there and it makes a nice fancy fold. And the paper I'm using is from the Hydrangea Hill suite. It's a lovely suite of products, this. I haven't got the stamp set and dies yet, but I've got some of the other things. I'll just show you those. The ribbon, gorgeous grape, and it is gorgeous. It's a sheer purple ribbon and it ties beautifully. I haven't used this, but I tied that ready to use and decided against it. Tiny little bow. So it ties lovely. Ties really nicely. I've got the pastel pearls as well, which again are lovely. Gorgeous grape, seaside spray, Highland heather and Rococo rose pearls. And you get, I think it's 200, so 50 of each. And they're quite a reasonable size as well. Nice. So I'm going to use the papers today, because I haven't got the stamp set. I'm going to pair it with Butterfly Gala. Use some of that one. These are the papers. I'll just show you those just before we get started. They are, I think they're lovely. They're really, really nice. Is that one? So pretty. And that's one of the ones I'm using today. And then the B-sides, if you like. That's got little hydrangea flowers on it. That one, it's not so obvious, but that one has also got little hydrangea flowers on. Let's bring it up a little bit, see if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Can't get them apart. That one has a sort of little dots, almost like a fleur-de-lis sort of pattern on it. More hydrangea flowers and some purple stripes. Really pretty. That's the other one I'm going to use. So this is the card I'm doing. You want to start with a piece of cardstock. This is just an A4 sheet, and I've cut it straight down the middle in half. And you want to score that. Quite simple. Make sure I've got my instructions. And you want to score it at 3/8 of an inch and at 4.5 inches. And then flip it over from top to bottom, so the bumpy side of your score lines is now on the top, and score at 1 3/4 inches, 3 1/8, and then at 5 7/8. If you're working in metric, that's the first score lines were at 1 centimetre and 11.5 centimetre, and then flip it and score at 4.5 centimetres, 8 centimetres and 15 centimetres. Now, the last of those score lines is intended as that's where you fold your card. So it's almost in the middle, just to make the gaps a nice size. It isn't quite. so the front overlaps by just a tiny amount there. So to decorate it, I'm going to use a piece of that paper and a piece of that paper, stripy paper. So the paper for the, I like to think of it as for the window. I've got another one I did at Christmas time that was, so I use the Feels Like Frost papers so that it's almost like a view from the window for the middle bits. And you want to cut that piece into 1 1/4 strips, so they'll all be 4 inches by 1 1/4. You also need a 1 1/4 inch strip off this piece. Now I've cut that at 4 inches by just a tiny bit under 3 inches, and I want to cut a 1 1/4 inch strip off that. And that will go onto that section. So you can, it's starting to take shape there. Okay. From this piece that's left, you want a 1 3/8 of an inch strip. That's 1 3/8, and that will leave you with a thin strip. Okay, so leave those in order. I would try, if you've got a pattern that's your view from the window, I would make sure that it stays in order. And the folds on this, we've already done the centre fold, centre part there. You want to fold all of your folds, all of your score lines, so that you're taking the dent, the valley, and making it into a mountain. So centre one goes across that way, this one goes back on itself, the opposite direction. Then next one, the opposite again. So that one is the same direction as your centre. The next one's the same direction again. And the last one, this small one, goes opposite again. So if you look at it from the direction, the side that we scored it, you want this first one to become a valley, then a mountain, then a mountain, then a valley, then a mountain. Okay. And now you can attach your strips of paper. So you want a piece, these first ones are all 1 1/4 inches, remember. And you want a plainer sort of pattern. I tend to think this is the wall next to the window, if you think of it as a bay window. And then these pieces of, it's so pretty. Try to make sure you're straight, you put them together. Now your little thin strip goes on quite a bit. So you can do that now. And I've just got glue all over my fingers. That can be the downside to Tombow, because Tombow dries quite sticky on your fingers, but it peels off quickly enough. Dries nice and quickly and then rubs off. Okay, now this first panel, when you open your card, that one needs to be stuck down. So, like that. So I'm going to put glue on the back of that. And put that down like that. So that now opens there. That's to make sure that when you open the bay, when you prop it up like that, this bit doesn't pop up. So that has to be glued down. Now you need a 4" by 3" piece of card or paper. It's going to go there, and then this last strip, that was the 1 3/8 of an inch strip, will go onto there. So I'm going to put this one on first. And just try to make sure you've got an even border, the top and bottom, and down the right hand side of this. And then your card or paper to sign can go up against that. Try to make sure you're straight with it. I think you're lined up nicely on the edge of your paper. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to use this greeting from here, Hello Beautiful, and I'm going to stamp that in purple to match and I'll try and get it fairly central. There we go. And I'm hoping that this will work. I haven't actually tried it out. And then put that into the centre of my punch. Punch that out. Now, if you put that up on dimensionals, you want your dimensionals to go down the centre. There. Make sure one side of it you can put them on, but not the other side. I'll show you in a second. So when you're putting it on there, you want to make sure that this side is clear of any dimensionals, but you do need them down the middle. What's left to do now is to decorate it a little. So I'm going to use some butterflies from Butterfly Gala. And I'm just going to use the small butterfly. So I only need to ink up that corner. I'm using Memento for this so that I can use my blends on it. And then I'm going to just, at a ever such a slight angle, stamp that like that. I'm going to need about 5 of these. I think I might have got that angle a bit too much there. So that's, if you use one of these post-it notes, you can protect that one while you stamp the next one. That's way too close. Make sure you're not too close to the edge. And try again. So we all make mistakes. I might have too small a piece of paper here. Okay, so you want to stamp about 5 or so of these. I'm not doing many right now because I've already done them. Let's stamp the body. And then put that away before I put my fingers in it. And then you can punch this out with the matching punch. Like that. So you would do 5 of them, 5 or so, depending on how many you want. And then to colour it in, I've used my blends, and I'm using Highland Heather and Purple Posy. So I'm going to start with the dark Highland Heather and colour the edges in. You don't need to be too precise here, just colour a bit of that edge so you've got a little bit of dark colour. On that edge. Okay, then find your light Highland Heather. Let's see if we can move the zoom in a bit so you can see this a bit better. So I've already coloured that so far. Now with the bullet tip, just work your way along the edge of that in a circular motion, so you're pulling down the colour from the darker part. Do a little bit coming down into the next sort of area. You don't need to follow the lines, I think, just doing a little bit of shading. And then do the same with, I'm using light, dark Purple Posy here. So again, just bringing the colour down a little bit. Just checking I'm still on the camera. And then onto the light Purple Posy. And just fill in the rest of it the same kind of way. So you're just pulling that ink down a little so that you get a little bit of shading. Is it focused? I think it is. Okay. Now the other thing I did with that was then a little bit of Wink of Stella, just because it gives it a subtle sheen. Okay, let's zoom back out again. Make sure you can see the rest of what I'm doing. So, bring in the ones I've already made. You can just bend them up a little at the body. So I just put a nail in there and bend them at the body. And they don't want to come apart. You can also, if you want to, you can just curl the wings slightly like that with your bone folder. And then add them with a little bit of glue or a glue dot. Just a tiny bit of glue on there. Kind of new glue. I'm going to put one on. And then just at random, really. I think I'm going to use an extra couple. So I'm using 7 butterflies in the end. Put one up there. On this one I used slightly less. I think I used 5 butterflies on that, and some of the pearls. And that greeting came from Forever Fern. Hope you like it. See you next time. Bye.